everybody, Ellie here for WhoCulture, and we are back with another Easter egg hunt, which is quite fitting seeing as it was just Easter weekend. Before I get into the Easter eggs for Lux though, I hope you've all noticed my wonderful t-shirt right here. And the good news is you can now grab your own t-shirts by clicking down below. And even more exciting, there will be more designs to come as well. So watch this space. We now have merch. I know, cool, right? Anyway, let's get into the Easter eggs for Lux. Whew, let me tell you, there's quite a lot of them. Number 37. So the cold open kicks off with everyone settling down in the cinema for the cartoon to begin, while Reginald Pye makes himself a cup of tea in the projectionist booth. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but I was initially a bit confused at that first shot lingering on the spoon because it made it seem all ominous for no apparent reason. But of course, we then see that the light bounces off of the spoon and into the projector, bringing Mr. Ring-a-Ding to life. Now, oddly enough, this isn't actually the first time we've seen a significant spoon in the 15th Doctor's era. Maestro reflected themselves in a spoon in The Devil's Cord, while a spoon literally saved the universe in Empire of Death, as it was the only piece of metal the Doctor could find after Sutekh, dusted everybody. The Doctor has taught us that we should never ignore a coincidence. But is there more to this other than it just being a really random connection between various members of the Pantheon? Honestly, I'm not so sure. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is there more to these spoons? Number 36. So Mr. Pye goes and gets a film reel out of storage, fires the projector up, and the Mr. Ring-a-Ding cartoon begins. Now, I've already commented in the review and in the spoiler discussion how beautiful the cartoon animation is throughout this episode. In particular, the little touches like added film grain and flicker on Mr. Ring-a-Ding to make him feel authentically of the time. Now, Russell T Davies has revealed that Fleischer cartoons were a major inspiration behind the look and feel of Mr. Ring-a-Ding and his world. Fleischer Studios was founded in 1929 and was one of the biggest producers of theatrical cartoons during its time, with series like Betty Boop and Popeye. Now, you can certainly see the inspiration here, and looking back at some of these old cartoons further hammers home just how well Mr. Ring-a-Ding was executed. Number 35. It's only week 2, and we already have a repeat Easter egg. So as you'd expect, Mr. Pye has a bunch of movie posters on the walls of his projection room. And as the camera tracks the beam of moonlight that brings Mr. Ring-a-Ding to life, we get a clear shot of one of those posters, which is Rocket to Venus. The exact same poster that appeared on Alan's bedroom wall in the Robot Revolution. Now, I suppose you can't really blame them for reusing the asset if they had it lying around, and it does fit with the time period and the setting of this particular episode. Although, does this mean that we now have to start Rocket to Venus watch as well as Flood watch? We'll see if it shows up next week. Number 34. After the cold open, we join the Doctor and Belinda in the TARDIS, and we get the first of 2 very unexpected but very welcome musical callbacks. So straight after Belinda says, "I would really like to see them again," there are a few notes of an 11th Doctor era track.
Please.
These notes are essentially a different version of Amy Pond's theme and feature at the start of the Series 5 track Roman Paradox. It was so great to hear this music again, but I'm not sure why a brief snippet of a Series 5 track was reused in Season 2. Maybe it was a sneaky hint of the meta madness to come, which we will get to later. Number 33. So after deciding to explore 1952 Miami, the Doctor and Belinda go for a change of clothing. And the way this scene was shot is an exact repeat of a similar scene in The Devil's Cord, where the Doctor and Ruby also go for a change of clothing. It seems like this is going to kind of be the standard now whenever a costume change is required. Although it would actually be nice to see the new TARDIS wardrobe one day. Now, another cool touch here is that the TARDIS light changes to match their outfits, being yellow and blue. Number 32. So sticking with these outfits for just a moment, and there are a couple of points of reference that went into designing them. For Belinda's dress, costume designer Pam Down looked at the iconic yellow dress worn by Anita in Steven Spielberg's 2021 adaptation of West Side Story, which, like Lux, is set in the 1950s. And for the Doctor's suit, Down looked at 50s American singers. We should probably also point out here that bow ties are cool. And it's nice to see the Doctor harking back to a previous incarnation, even if this wasn't the intention. Number 31. The Doctor and Belinda emerge from the TARDIS and are greeted by the Palazzo Theatre, where Belinda spots the name Rock Hudson headlining a movie called The Harvest Bringer. Rock Hudson was a real American movie star of the time and earned an Oscar nomination for lead actor for his work on the 1956 film Giant. Now, Belinda mentions that she learned of him while on her HIV training course. Hudson sadly passed away on October 2nd, 1985 at just 59 years of age. And he was the first major American celebrity to die from an AIDS-related illness. Before returning to Doctor Who, Russell T Davies wrote the superb drama miniseries It's a Sin, which followed the lives of a group of gay men during the AIDS crisis in 1980s England, which then adds further depth to his decision here to highlight Rock Hudson in Lux. Number 30. The Doctor clearly wants to investigate the creepy old chained-up cinema, and so Belinda labels him Scooby-Doo, to which the Doctor responds, "Honey, I'm Velma." Now, there are actually a couple of Scooby-Doo nods in this episode. So obviously there's this one here with the Doctor telling Belinda that he's the smart one, since Velma is the brains of the Scooby Gang. But then the later scene of the Doctor and Belinda being animated was directly influenced by that Hanna-Barbera style of animation, Hanna-Barbera being the studio that produced the old Scooby-Doo cartoons. Number 29. So when the Doctor and Belinda are talking to Logan about the missing people in the diner, he says, "Some people say that a boat came in and took them to Cuba recruiting for Batista." Now this is another historical reference. So in 1952, Fulgencio Batista, a former Cuban president and military leader, staged a coup and took control of the government and basically became a dictator, which then set the stage for the Cuban Revolution in 1953. Honestly, it's always really good when a Doctor Who episode also acts as a history lesson, informing the audience about certain events that they may not have been familiar with beforehand. I mean, I certainly wasn't familiar with who Batista was until I googled it after hearing his name in this episode. Number 28. And now we enter the fan scene. And there's about a billion Easter eggs in this bit, so buckle up, folks. So as the Doctor and Belinda first step out of the TV, on the left you can see a mug perched on top of the speaker. Now it's very difficult to make out, but I'm fairly certain that's a weeping angel printed on the mug, which would then make sense as this is also the same mug that Lizzie then holds for the rest of the scene. And it's got the words, "Lizzie, don't blink," printed on the other side. Number 27. So the shot then cuts to Doctor Who mega fans Lizzie and Hassan, who can't quite believe their eyes. There was no surprise that Lizzie loves Blink, because on top of that weeping angel mug, she is also sat on a weeping angel cushion. You can just see its wings sticking out here, but we get a better look at it when Lizzie excitedly leans forward a few seconds later. Number 26 and number 25. So sticking with Lizzie, she's of course wearing a fez, which I'm sure all of you remember as a favourite accessory of the 11th Doctor. But fezzes were also worn by the 13th Doctor in Kablam and the 7th Doctor in Silver Nemesis. Now she's also wearing a Cyberman shirt with the word Telos printed on it. Now I'm sure I don't need to explain the Cybermen to you lovely folks, but for those of you who might not be aware, as it hasn't actually been mentioned much in the modern series, Telos is one of the home planets of the Cybermen, first appearing in the iconic second Doctor story, Tomb of the Cybermen. Also, shout out to Lizzie's TARDIS blue fingernails as well. I thought that was a nice touch. Number 24 and number 23. So sitting next to Lizzie is Hassan, who's wearing a 4th Doctor scarf and a UNIT jumper. UNIT, of course, being the Unified Intelligence Task Force, the organisation led by Kate Stewart that defends Earth from alien threats. UNIT and Kate Stewart, along with Ruby Sunday, will return in the 4th episode of Season 2, Lucky Day. So I'm looking forward to seeing them guys again. Number 22 and number 21. The third fan is called Robin, who is wearing a Beep the Meep shirt. Hail to the Meep! And it's of the design first introduced in the 2023 episode, The Star Beast. She's also holding a 3rd Doctor sonic screwdriver, which, might I add, is an awesome design and may or may not be near the top of our upcoming ranking, so keep an eye out for that one, folks. This was the sonic that really set the template for the sonic screwdriver design and functions that we would see throughout the classic series and into the revival as well. So it was a good one to use in this meta homage to the show and to its fans. Number 20. Now let's look at the shelves in the background. And that, my friends, right there, that's a Slitheen. A Slitheen cameo in 2025. I mean, what a time to be alive, am I right? The Slitheen, aliens that wear human skin as camouflage, were first introduced 20 years ago in the first series of the revival. So maybe this was intended as a little 20th anniversary homage. Number 19. On the same shelf, but a little further down, there's another figurine of a revival-era monster, an Ood. Love an Ood. The Ood were first introduced in the second series of the revival in The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit. They were last seen opposite the 13th Doctor in Series 13 in 2021, and honestly, I'd love to see them come back again. Come on, Russell, bring back the Ood. Number 18. So that Slitheen and the Ood are perched in front of a whole bunch of Doctor Who physical media cases. So on the right we can see some of the lighter coloured classic collection box sets. For example, there's Season 9 with the 3rd Doctor and Season 2 with the 1st Doctor. Now there's a few other cases here that are quite difficult to make out, although you can see what appears to be Trial of a Time Lord DVD. There's that recognisable beam of blue light next to the 6th Doctor's head. And then further down, what appears to be the Key to Time box set, although the Slitheen is rudely getting in the way of that one. Number 17. So continuing with the physical media, the top shelf looks like it's home to all the fans' modern series DVDs and Blu-rays. For example, on some of the cases on the left, you can clearly make out the original 2005 Revival Doctor Who logo. And you can also see on these shelves the 60th Anniversary Specials DVD as well. Number 16. So at the very top of the shelves, right at the back, is what looks like a Build-A-Bear teddy. Now I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this is one of the Doctor Who Build-A-Bears, and while it's not clear exactly which Doctor it is, it looks like it could be the recent 14th Doctor edition that was launched around the 60th anniversary. But really, I just wanted an opportunity to show off my own Doctor Who bears. Number 15 to number 13. And now, just when you think things can't get any more meta, there are actually a few bits of 15th Doctor era marketing hidden around the fans' room. So on the shelf next to the DVDs is a promotional image of the 15th Doctor and Ruby Sunday from Season 1. Right at the top of the shelf, hidden behind some bits of crockery, is a poster of the 15th Doctor that was released in the run-up to the 60th anniversary, and on the wall behind the TV is the official vortexy, spirally artwork that accompanied the church on Ruby Road. Number 12. So sticking with posters and wall art, right at the back of the room next to the shelves is a somewhat questionable addition to the room's decor. A poster for Fine Time, complete with some artwork of a man trap. Now Fine Time was of course the name of the domed city in the Season 1 episode Dot and Bubble, while the man traps were the hungry slug monsters created by the Dots to wipe out the city's annoying, vain residents. Number 11. So just beneath the Fine Time poster is a box of some sort that has all the Doctors displayed along the sides. This is the board game Doctor Who Time of the Daleks, which as you can see has all of the Doctors displayed along the sides. Now I feel like it's been ages since we've had a new Doctor Who board game, quite honestly. I think we need more Doctor Who board games. Russell, make it happen. Number 10. Jumping back to the fans themselves, and Lizzie exclaims, "Oh, this is so Galaxy Quest," upon discovering that the Doctor actually seems to be real. This is a nod to the classic 1999 comedy Galaxy Quest, in which the cast of a sci-fi TV series called Galaxy Quest are drawn into a real conflict with real aliens who believe that the TV show is a documentary. Now, this situation that we have here in Lux isn't really the same thing, but you can sort of see how the reference connects the idea of fictional characters being treated as real. Number 9 and number 8. The Doctor and Belinda sit down with the fans for a cuppa and a chinwag, and that means we have more mugs. So Hassan is holding a K9 mug, K9 of course being the Doctor's lovable robot dog, who we actually haven't seen in a Doctor Who episode since Journey's End in 2008, so it's been quite a while. Bring back K9, please. And then Robin's mug is Dalek themed. And in the post-credits scene, we can see that it's got a Dalek on one side, while the text on the other side reads, "Robin will be hydrated." All I'm wondering is why does it not say, "Would you care for some tea?" Quite honestly, rookie mistake, props team. Rookie mistake. Number 7 and number 6. So the Doctor asks the fans what their favourite Doctor Who adventure is, and we get a couple of fun references here. The fans immediately respond Blink, and insist on Blink a few times even when the Doctor suggests other options. Written by Stephen Moffat, Blink first aired in 2007 and was the debut story for the Weeping Angels, and is almost always at the top or near the top of fan polls ranking the best Doctor Who episodes. So I read this moment as Russell T Davies having a cheeky pop at Stephen Moffat about the fact that his episodes are always voted the best. The other adventures that the Doctor suggests are the one with the goblins, obviously the church on Ruby Road, the one where he meets the Beatles, the Devil's Cord, and the one where he stood on a landmine. Boom, which incidentally was another Moffat episode. Number 5, and the scene ends with some very familiar music indeed. A reprise of Murray Gold's Series 5 track, The Sad Man with a Box. Now, most notably this track played in the Series 5 finale, The Big Bang, just as Eleven is saying goodbye to Amy Pond before flying the Pandorica into the exploding TARDIS. And then a portion then plays later on when he's telling little Amelia the famous "we're all stories in the end, just make it a good one, story." Which is quite fitting for this moment, I feel, where the fans reveal that they're actually fictional.
Brand new and ancient and the bluest blue.
Number 4. After Mr. Ring-a-Ding ascends to the heavens, Belinda is curious about how light could have killed him, saying, "But he was made of light." To which the Doctor responds, "We're 60% water and we can still drown." Now this is an almost direct lift from another Russell T Davies penned episode, Tooth and Claw, which incidentally was also the second episode of the second series. Now at the end of that episode, the Doctor and Rose amplify the moonlight to defeat the werewolf. And Rose questions how this is possible, saying, "But the wolf needs moonlight, it's made by moonlight." To which the Doctor responds, "You're 70% water and you can still drown." First of all, where has 10% of our water gone? And second of all, this was either intentional or one of those things lurking at the back of Russell T Davies' mind that he didn't realise that he'd already done before. Also, while we're talking about Tooth and Claw, that moon shot at the beginning of the episode gave me major Tooth and Claw vibes. Honestly, Tooth and Claw is such a great episode. I think it's a really underrated episode. Number 3. So in the very same shot, just behind Belinda, is a Doctor Who cast and crew Easter egg. That man there in the blue suit is Richard Price, who you've almost certainly seen at some point as he's appeared in the background of countless Doctor Who episodes over the years, including as a photographer in the Lazarus Experiment and a soldier in The Doctor's Daughter. He was also behind Cyber and Sea Devil masks in The Timeless Children, Legend of the Sea Devils and The Power of the Doctor, and no doubt many episodes to come in the future as well. Number 2. Now it's time for this week's Flood Watch! Flood Watch! Flood Watch! There's a lot more to glean from her cameo this week than there was last week. Now obviously the big question is, how can she travel in time? Does she have a TARDIS, or is she so powerful that she can just appear anywhere at will? There's also her ominous prophecy that the show ends May 24th. Now it seems she's talking about the Doctor himself here, as this would track with her line about the Doctor's story ending in absolute terror in Empire of Death. But what's interesting is May 24th isn't the date of the season 2 finale. It's the date of the penultimate episode, Wish World. So is the Doctor going to be taken out of action in some way in that story? Like how Eleven was sealed inside the Pandorica in the Series 5 penultimate episode? It would certainly be one hell of a lead into the finale if the Doctor was killed or something along those lines, wouldn't it? Number 1. The episode ends with something incredibly rare for Doctor Who. A post-credits scene. Now the scene shows that the 3 fans did actually survive the events of the episode, and they all burst out laughing as they realise they're still alive. Now in addition, though Robin previously said that they're the types of characters who don't get surnames, in the credits, they do have surnames. Lizzie Abel, Hassan Chowdhury and Robin Gossage. Now with so much meta fourth wall breaking shenanigans in Doctor Who lately, the fact that we're shown their survival does make me wonder if they'll be important going forward. The 3 people does spring to mind that mention of a threefold deity of malice, mischief and misery by Harriet Arbinger in The Legend of Ruby Sunday. And there are also plenty of theories about the gods of Ragnarok, a trio of gods that demand entertainment which could connect with the 3 fans watching TV in Lux. Now the gods of Ragnarok would also make a lot of sense considering we have the Interstellar Song Contest coming up. 3 sneaky gods creating this big cosmic talent show to lure the Doctor is exactly the sort of out there twist you could imagine Russell T Davies pulling off. All will be revealed in a few weeks' time, but in the meantime, let us know your theories about these 3 fans in the comments down below. So there you have it, there are all the Easter eggs and references that we found in Lux. I'm sure there are plenty more just in the fan scene alone, so if you think we missed one then do let us know in the comments down below. And while you're down in that area, make sure that you're getting your hands on one of these lovely t-shirts. Did I mention we have merch now? In the meantime, I've been Ellie for WhoCulture, and in the words of River Song herself, goodbye, sweeties.